Project 1, Smart Tab Juggy. Fill in the blanks. The pump motor is an actuator. Pump motor is used to pump water or other fluids. IR stands for infrared. IR sensor emits or detects infrared radiation. A notifier is a non-visible component that can show various kinds of alerts. The implemented registered jack in telecommunication review. Button is used to touch and perform the action. Tables are used to display static text. Answer the following. List the components used. Smart Tab Juggy. Q-brick, motherboard, Q-bit building blocks, RJ cable, IR sensor, pump motor, Android devices. Second question. Mention the actuator and sensor used in Smart Tab Juggy. Sensor, IR sensor, actuator, pump motor. Write the two types of terminals in LED. Anode, positive, longer terminal. Cathode, negative, shorter terminal. List some applications of LED. Electronic signs, clock display, flashlight. Fill in the blanks. Qubit or building blocks is used to build the structure of a robot. Wheel is used to move the robot. Cater wheel is used to balance the robot. Android is an operating system for mobile. LED stands for light emitting diode. Q-brick or motherboard is the brain of the robot. Explain input, processor, output. Input. IR sensor will sense the object. Processor. Motherboard is processing unit. For P1 IR sensor connected and M1 pump motor connected. Output water flowed the pump motor. Explain if then else condition for Bluetooth device selection. If condition, call Bluetooth client, connect selection. Then call notifier to get alert message that it connects. Else call notifier to get the message not connected. Next question. Name the accessibility part for IR sensor and pump motor. IR sensor P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6. Pump motor M1, M2, M3. Next question. How does IR sensor unit detects IR ray? The transmitter transmits IR rays and required receiver receives reflected IR rays when an object is detected. Explain the working principles of pump motor. Pump motor is an actuator which is used to pump water or other fluids by converting electrical energy into mechanical energy. Mention visible and non-visible component in Smart Tab Juggy. Visible, connect IR value true or false. Non-visible, Bluetooth client, notifier, pump motor. Full forms. LED, light emitting diode. LDR, light dependent resistor. RJ cable, registered jack cable. DC, direct current. IR, infrared radiation. Project number 2. Rahul Smart Goggles. Answer the following. What is the use of ultrasonic sensor in smart goggle? It detects the obstacles and it helps to measure the distance between the user and the obstacle. How do smart goggle help visually impaired person? Smart goggle alerts visually impaired people by giving buzzer sound when an obstacle then. What happens when the sensor detects an obstacle within 50 cm? The buzzer produces a beeping sound. What is the role of Kubrick in smart goggle? Kubrick acts as the brain of the robot. It controls ultrasonic sensor and the buzzer ensures they work together. Name the unit measured to calculate the distance between the obstacle and the user. Centimeter. Input, processor, output in smart goggle. Input, ultrasonic sensor. Output, buzzer. Processor, motherboard. List visible and non-visible components in the project. Visible, connect, distance, this value. Non-visible, Bluetooth client, notifier, ultrasonic sensor, buzzer. Fill in the blanks. Smart goggles are used for visually impaired people. Kubrick controls the sensor and buzzer. The ultrasonic sensor is used to measure the distance between the user and the obstacle. Smart goggles improves the safety of blind people while walking. What is a conductor? Conductors are materials that allow electricity to pass easily. Example, iron and copper. What is an insulator? Insulators are materials that do not allow electricity to pass through them. Example, wood, rubber. Why electric gadgets are covered with plastic or rubber? Rubber and plastic are insulating materials to prevent electric shock. Project number 3. Salma's obstacle avoider. The ultrasonic sensor works using sound waves. The DC motor converts electrical energy into motion. The main brain of the robot that takes decision is motherboard. The ultrasonic sensor measures the distance using echo or reflection of sound. The maximum range of an ultrasonic sensor is about 400 cm. The minimum range of an ultrasonic sensor is about 4 cm. The DC motor works on the principle of electromagnetic induction. An obstacle avoider robot is used to detect and avoid obstacles. The input device in an obstacle avoider is ultrasonic sensor. The output device in this project is DC motor. The power source of the robot is battery. The distance to the target is measured by the time taken between the emission of ultrasonic waves and the reception. Answer the following. What is an obstacle avoider robot? It is a robot that can detect obstacles in its path and automatically change the direction to avoid them. Which sensor is used in this obstacle avoider? Ultrasonic sensor. How does the ultrasonic sensor detect an object? It sends out sound waves that reflect, and the sensor measures the time taken for the echo and calculate the distance. What type of wave does ultrasonic sensor use? Ultrasonic sensor use sound waves. What is the role of processor in the robot? The processor receives the signals from the sensor, makes decisions and control the motor to move the robot. What does the robot do when it finds an obstacle in front of it? When the robot finds an obstacle, it changes its direction to avoid hitting the object. Why is ultrasonic sensor important in obstacle avoider? The ultrasonic sensor is important because it helps the robot to detect the obstacles by sending and receiving sound waves. This helps the robot to avoid hitting the objects while moving. Write if then else conditions. If there is no obstacle, then car moves forward. Else turns to avoid hitting. Explain input, processor, output for obstacle avoider. Input. Ultrasonic sensor detect the distance between the robot and the obstacle. Sends and receives sound waves to measure the distance. Processor. Motherboard receives the information from sensor and decide the action to turn. Output. DC motor helps to move the robot forward or turn based on the processor decision. Project number 4. Automatic door with password. What is an automatic door system? An automatic door system is a project which the door opens and closes automatically when a button is pressed without any manual effort. Why we use servo motor in automatic door? Servo motor can move to a fixed angle. It helps us to open and close the door smoothly. Write 2 advantages of an automatic door. It reduces manual work. It is easy and safe to use. It saves time. Describe input, processor, output in automatic door system. The input is a button used to give commands. The processor, motherboard, receives the signal from button and sends message to servo motor. Output. Servo motor receives the message and moves the door to open or close it. Explain if then else condition in automatic door system. If open, button pressed, then open the door. Else close. If close button pressed, then close the door, else open. What happens when a wrong password is entered? When a wrong password is entered, the motherboard detects it and servo motor does not move, so the door remains closed. And the buzzer sound to alert the password is incorrect. Where can automatic door with the password be used? home and apartment for secure rooms, banks and offices for restricted areas, lockers and storage rooms. All the best for your exams.